Welcome to episode 52 of the Twig Snapper Podcast. Today I'm joined by Michael Morelli of the Michigan Tech D1 hockey team. How are you doing today?
Good. Glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining me. Let's just start. We'll dive right into why you chose Michigan Tech coming out of the juniors.
Yeah. I don't know. I talked to Joe the first time I ever met him. He was at the showcase in Blaine, and I just heard so many great things. I knew how good the program was. Every single year you see in the standings, they're always top 30, it seems like. So, I actually never got to come on an official visit or anything like that because of COVID and just during the year with juniors. Recruiting was completely different than it was. So, but I saw like pictures and talking to Joe and talking to former players who have been here. I talked to Robbie Baydoun on the phone for a while.
Oh yeah, Robbie's a good guy.
Yeah, great guy. He's a beauty. So, just heard nothing but great things, and from what I saw at campus, the rink, facilities, everything, it was just seemed like the right place for me. So yeah. Did
it play into it at all, like the success that like goalies have? If you look over like the last 20 years, there've been some goalies who have had some success. If you look at Copley right now with the Kings, he's having an awesome year.
Oh yeah.
And then other guys in the coast and the AHL.
Yeah, exactly. I knew about Jamie Phillips, our goalie coach here. Obviously Blake is probably, I would say he's the best goalie in the country.
Yeah.
There's just so many good goalies that have came through here. I think it made it definitely for me. I want to play pro hockey, and to see the development that all these guys have gone through that have came here, and I don't know, it just seemed like a perfect spot for a goalie. And the way the systems are, defensive, like low scoring games, all that stuff is just perfect as a goalie. And but now with Jamie as our goalie coach too, it's like he's such a good guy, and he's so just dialed in with all the technique and all the video work. He has like 6 cameras out there for goalie skates, so. No, yeah, it's just like a no-brainer to come here with the goalie success and the team success and everything, and the atmosphere here is insane. So, yeah, it's been awesome.
So, talk about like the importance of this year. Obviously, everyone like you knew it's Blake's year.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the guy.
Yeah.
But that's also good for you in like a development.
100%.
You can have this year. There's not pressure on your shoulders to win games. You can just work on your skills. So how important do you think this year is for you personally in your development?
Yeah, I think it's so important. I think, like you said, knowing it's kind of Blake's year makes it easy for you to just sit back and just tell yourself that every day all I can do is get better, and not worry about, like you said, winning games necessarily. You're just worried about doing what you can do to help the team and get better and push yourself every day in practice. So I think for me, developmentally, it's been awesome. Like every day, like I said with Jamie, and our team's so good too. You just can't help really but get better in practice, and makes it easy to want to work hard when you see Blake down there in practice. Like people don't see everything that happens behind the scenes. They see all the games, they see his stats, but in practice, like he doesn't want to get scored on ever either. You don't want to embarrass yourself out there, so he pushes everyone. All the shooters want to score as bad as they can on him because how good he is, and you see that out of him, and it makes you push yourself even harder too. So it's just special to have that out of a goalie partner. All 3 of us, Max, the same way. We all push each other as hard as we can. So, like you said, developmentally, I think it's been so easy to get better every day. It's just nothing but fun. So.
And you brought up like the fact of how good your team is in practice. I mean, you've got some guys that have some skill that can score, like Kukkonen and Logan Pietila and Ashbrook. I mean, some of these guys are just pure scorers. So going against them in practice, definitely helps.
It's hard. It's fun for sure, though. I mean, like you're saying, like Kyle and Tristan, like Moser, all those guys are so good. I don't know, it's hard as a goalie sometimes. There's some days if you don't have it, it's not going to be good for you. So it's like what I was saying with Blake, he's so focused every day, and I think you learn to be consistent, do everything the same, like our routines before practice. It's important to just keep like a clear mind, stay calm, and just go out and work as hard as you can every day. But it's so much fun to battle against those guys. They're so good and so skilled. It's fun. You see what they do during the games, but they do it for a reason. They do it in practice every day. So, it's so cool.
Yeah, you guys definitely have a good team this year. I think everyone was a little bit surprised with like the talent that was lost last year. People thought maybe it was going to be a down year, and that's definitely not the case. Definitely not the case. The freshmen are, like Kyle, he's a perfect example of him stepping up and just. Other guys who maybe they haven't played every single game like Nordstrom, but when they come in, they're playing hard. And so you guys definitely have a good group of guys.
Everyone pushes each other. And, like you're saying, guys that aren't necessarily in the lineup every day, they still come in and produce and do their job. It's not easy either. Like,
right.
You're not playing every day you have no idea when you're going to play, and then the guy goes in and, I don't know, everyone just does such a great job. Guys are so focused and so prepared. We know how special it is what we have, and guys just want to win so bad.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, going back to practice, like every practice is so competitive. Even in like a battle drill, like it's like a Monday, like after a sweep, the boys like have every like right to just be like chill and just go through the motions.
Yeah.
But everyone wants to win so bad. You got guys like getting in little like scuffles and stuff. It's so much fun. It's so competitive, and I think we all love that. We push each other too. So.
Yeah, definitely good for a good team atmosphere and everything.
Yeah.
So we kind of already mentioned it with like Jamie and obviously Blake, but you know you get to learn from the best. You get to learn from arguably the best goalie in the country right now, and then you could say one of the best goalie coaches, just the way Jamie coaches.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got so much experience himself, and then like you said, he'll put 6 cameras out there. He's got all these different angles.
Yeah.
He's really got the social media side of coaching dialed in perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about that for a little bit. Just like working with those guys.
No, it's really cool. I mean, I've never had a goalie coach who posts so much on social media.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. It's cool. Like I was saying, like all the cameras out there and stuff. Like if you don't feel comfortable on something, you just go look at the camera and see what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
You talk to him about it. He's so scientific with everything. He'll tell you exactly what your body needs to do and all this stuff. It's just so cool because it's just so development based. Like all he cares about is that we get better every day, and that's all we care about too. But it's easy in a long season to get lost, kind of sometimes, and just being worried about winning games. It's not always easy to just focus on developing every single day, but Jamie has that mindset, and it makes it easier for us. But social media stuff's really cool too. Like he shows younger goalies like really what they need to focus on. It's all just fundamental stuff. Like people get so consumed seeing social media and they see the craziest goalie drills ever, when really like that stuff like could help you. But I mean, I think like a quote that I heard from a goalie coach in a book I read, saying like NHL goalies, they do the simplest things better than anyone else. I think it's so true. So with Jamie, we just work on foundational stuff, like we so much like skating and edge work and all that stuff and tracking, and better you can be at that, the better, we're just gonna help your game so much more. If you can almost perfect that stuff, then everything else will come natural.
Right, when you're developing the fundamental foundational stuff in any sport. I mean, you can look at the NFL this past year with what's his name? I'm drawing a blank on his name. The Jets quarterback that got benched.
Oh my gosh. I know, Zach Wilson?
Yeah, Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
And Salah basically just said that he's lost his fundamentals.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just trying to skip that. He's trying to do the fancy stuff.
Yeah, you try to do too much.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you see all that stuff online, those crazy goalie drills, the fancy stuff, like you see it all the time, Jamie posts question and answer stuff. People are always asking him about like, how do I do what this pro goalie does?
Like the best drill. Or
and
what's like the one, the hack or something.
And Jamie's always like, I don't like to, try to model everything after those pro goalies. You got to go back to that, strip it back to those fundamentals, like you said.
Exactly.
And once you master the basics, then you're set up.
Oh, 100%. Then you just keep building and building and building. And that's what I think that's where you gain your confidence from.
Yeah.
The ability to just be consistent, having the, being able to master all those fundamentals helps you be consistent, and consistency helps you build confidence too. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you're always trying the crazy stuff, you're gonna fail at it initially, and that might hurt your confidence. You can master the small stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just gonna do wonders.
Yeah, no, Jamie's like, he's the best coach ever. I mean, he's like, I've just never had a goalie coach like that before.
Yeah.
So it's different than any other goalie coach. All he cares about, like I was saying, is development, and he really just, I think he loves all of us goalies. He is so passionate about goaltending, and you see it on social media. He just wants to help people understand how you can get there. Like you're saying, he's been through it. He played here. He was lights out here, and then he played pro for a while, and he's like a perfect role model to follow.
And the fact that he does all of this goalie coaching, all the extra stuff on top of him going to PT school too, it's really crazy when you think about that, like how much time he's got into that, and how much time he still puts in.
Yeah.
It shows you how devoted he is to
100%.
Helping you guys and helping other young goalies develop.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. And you don't see that everywhere. Guys with that much, just drive.
Yeah. Exactly. He's already done so much in the game of hockey too.
Right.
He doesn't.
Like some guys just hang up the skates and I did my part.
For him to give back, I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
If you go that far in hockey and you have that much knowledge like he does, I think it's really special for him to be able to give back and teach us. And you see how well it's worked for Blake in his 4 years here. It's crazy. So we're just every day we can just keep learning from him and just eventually have a career like his.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears here a little bit. Obviously, like you haven't been playing in games, but you get to dress for every home game.
Yeah.
So just talk about being a part of that. Like, I mean, anyone who's been to the MAC or anyone who knows college hockey knows how electric it is. Even if it's not sold out, it's electric.
Yeah.
But obviously, the Northern games, the Carnival games are just really nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So just talk a little bit about, you're out there for warm-ups and then you're on the bench. You're still a part of the atmosphere.
Yeah, no, it's like, it's nothing I ever thought before I came here. Like when I committed here, I knew the fans were good and I knew all that, but I never knew like all the chants. I remember our first preseason game. I think we played Lake State. It was preseason game, and I was like, oh my god, like, this is the craziest atmosphere I've ever.
Oh yeah, that preseason game.
Yeah,
I mean, people were lined up in the hallways for hours.
I thought it
for
was
a preseason
like
game. That was
maybe
nuts.
I thought it was gonna be like half filled. I had no idea, and just like all the chants and stuff, I was like, this is like the coolest thing ever. So, but yeah, and then you see the games against Northern and Carnival and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know, it's so cool. You can feel the energy from the fans. It's just like every time there's a big save, everyone's screaming their heads off for Blake. Every time there's a goal, you think the ceiling's gonna explode. Like, it's just so fun. I don't think I've ever seen an atmosphere like this in any hockey rink I've ever been in. Like I grew up going to like Denver games because I'm from Colorado.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're always one of the best teams in the country, but their fans are like nowhere near ours. Like, it's crazy. I never expected to hear all the chants, and our student section I think is probably the best in college hockey. So it's just fun every night. You get like butterflies skating around in warm-ups. It's so loud, and it's so cool to just be part of that. And, the boys love it too.
You've got your notable like fan groups. The Lawson Lunatics, the big one.
Yeah.
You got the Children of Yost, and the RIT Corner Crew, I think, and some of those. But then Mitch's Misfits. You got to throw them up there.
Yeah, exactly.
The people who don't rank Tech fans, one or two, are ones that have never been here.
Yeah, they've never been here.
You can't experience it.
It's like what I was saying. I never knew what it was like. I'd seen some like pictures and stuff. I'm like, wow, that looks crazy. But like that first, it was a preseason game. I was like, wow, this is insane.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's a lot of places that can't get fans like that for their big games.
Yeah,
you guys had it for a preseason game that means nothing.
No, every single game it seems like it's completely sold out. The fans are just so good all the time, no matter if we win or lose too. It's just,
people are consistent.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
There's so much passion that these fans have for Tech hockey, and you see it even after people graduate. The alumni and the passion that they have is insane.
It's cool to meet all the alumni. Sometimes they'll come down to like our facilities and come to us like before or after the games, and they're still just so passionate about hockey. Like they're talking about like past teams and players and all that stuff, and they remember everything. It's just cool to see how much passion people in Houghton at Tech have here for hockey. So
and that's the other thing. There's such a small community. The fact that I have a sports administration class with Suzanne, and she was talking about how they thought about like blowing out that far wall and adding on. But she's like, the thing is it worth it? You think about, you pack the barn right now about 4,000 people. You look at the population of like Houghton County, Keweenaw County, like you've got a huge percentage of the population already here. Like that's crazy. The fact that like how small our area is.
Like, it seems like everyone's here.
Everyone's here. You come to a game and you know everyone you see. It's really wild.
I think it's special. Like I don't think many colleges have that.
Right. I mean, if you look at like Michigan, obviously like they've got a student enrollment of like 50,000 or whatever. They can pack a barn. They got so many students. But you got Tech, when the student section's full, you're thinking like, well, that's whatever percent of the
it's like the whole school. It seems like.
I know it's really wild. It's a different feel that you don't get anywhere else, like you said. Let's talk about. There's one specifically I want to mention from the Nall. You've got a little bit of a goalie fight. So take us through like how it happened, like leading up to it. How you ended up in it.
So we were playing at home actually. I think it was in March or February. I think it was March. My last year, junior, so last year, and we were playing against Stanberry at home, and there was like a big hit, one of our players. So there's a delayed penalty, and right as our guy got hit, kind of everyone came over, and there's like a huge like scrum, like fight started to break out. But I was skating to the bench for delayed penalty. It was the second period, so I was at the far end. I had to skate past like their bench, like all the way across the ice basically, and I got to like the red line-ish, and I saw their goalie just like start sprinting out of me. I was like, oh my god. I looked at my coach and to see if he was looking at me to like say anything like no or whatever. He was looking at the scrum, and I saw the goalie just sprinting full speed at me. So I was like, I'm gonna fight. I've always wanted to fight. Like, I always wanted to since I was little. I'd watch like videos of like Patrick Boggs, I'm like an Avalanche fan. And I watched his like fights and stuff. I was like, dude, that's like the coolest thing I've ever seen. So, but yeah, he just came like sprinting at me, and next thing I knew, my helmet was flying off, my gloves were flying off, and then I was like kind of concerned. I remember I just saw him like going full speed, and I was like kind of standing still, and he came at me, so I just like double punched him right in like the jaw. He dropped, and then threw like probably 4 or 5 punches, and then he kind of got up, and I threw some uppercuts, and then we kind of just a little wrestling match. We both just fell to the ground, but it was. I think I'd like to say I got the win in it. So yeah, it was. I don't know. That was probably, I don't want to say like the best moment of my hockey career, but it was probably like the most exciting thing I've ever done. I don't know. It was so loud. I don't remember hearing the noise when I was fighting at all. Like I can.
You were just so zoned in.
Yeah, I'd never felt that type of adrenaline rush before. All I remember is like I just locked in on him. I was like, wow, this is crazy. But yeah, it was. I never thought I'd get in a goalie fight in junior or anything. It was like, all I remember is like going in the locker room, just sitting in my stall, getting undressed right after because I got kicked out. You're not allowed to do it. You're not allowed to have a goalie fight and all, technically. So I just remember sitting in my stall and walking after the game. I was like, oh my god, like what just happened? It was so funny.
Did that video end up on that the Vietnam Instagram?
Oh yeah, it was all over. It was. I was getting like texts and stuff from people I haven't talked to forever, and they're like, that was so like badass. I was like, oh my gosh, like. What am I doing? I was like, why am I in a goalie fight? My mom was just like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know, I didn't. But it was actually really fun.
They're, from like a fan's perspective, they're awesome. Everybody loves them.
Yeah.
Just the other night, I'm a big Ducks guy.
I saw that.
And there was this thing. Gibson comes up to center ice, smacking his stick. Copley was like in on the fight already. He like gets up, like starts trying to run. The refs pull him aside. I was like, oh man, the stripes ruined it. Like,
I think it's honestly just exciting for the fans. Like I don't know why like they don't allow. Obviously, like they don't want people to get hurt. They don't want like the game getting into fighting, but
it happens like so rarely.
It's so rare that like when it does happen,
you gotta just let it.
It's like it's probably one of the most rare things you could have in hockey. So I don't know. It was really cool. I'm glad I had that experience. Like looking back, it's gonna be a great story to tell like my kids and my grandkids.
Like forever an awesome hockey story.
Yeah. So I don't know. I remember calling my brother after talking to him. He was like so excited because he knew I'd always wanted to fight, and I was like, that was the coolest thing ever. I told him if I was a player, like I'd want to fight all the time, but I've only been in one fight like on the ice. So maybe if I got pumped against like a bigger guy or something, maybe I wouldn't want to fight all the time. But that was just. I remember it was crazy for a couple of days. People like texting me, and the video kind of like blew up on like social media and stuff. So, but yeah, it was cool. It was a fun experience. I'll definitely never forget that. So
yeah, you never get enough of those kind of like experiences in your life. Those just crazy adrenaline moments where it's like nothing else matters at the time.
Yeah,
those are the best. You're so in the moment.
Yeah,
and then it goes by so quickly too.
Yeah,
like your first goalie fight. Over.
I remember too. Like I skated to like our bench like right after because they were trying to figure out all the penalties and stuff. And I was like completely fine. And I remember like a minute or two after the fight being so tired. I was like standing by the bench. I was like, holy, like I'm gassed. It was. You don't realize how tired you get.
When you're in that adrenaline, you don't feel anything.
Nothing.
Pain, nothing, and then after it wears off.
My hand started hurting, and I was like, I had like blood on my like chin or something, and I was like, I didn't even feel like I got touched or anything. It was crazy, but then you start like your hand, wrist is all sore after. But it was crazy. I don't remember anything like hardly from like actually fighting, but just after.
You remember like leading up to it, and then like the after, the middle is just kind of.
I had my glove on still, like because I said he was like skating up like fast at me.
Yeah.
I still had my glove on. I always like strapped it tight, so I was trying to get it off. If you watch the video, like very last second, it's like flew off my hand. I think he was expecting me to still have my glove on, so that's why he came. I think
he thought he could like.
Yeah, I think he tried to like grab me and get like a jump on me, but I got it off last second, and I think I kind of surprised him, so that probably helped me a bit. But
that's an awesome story.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap it up here with a few of your hobbies. I pulled these out of your tech bio, it says you like mountain climbing, hiking, and fishing.
Yeah.
So like mountain climbing, like what kind of?
Yeah. So I don't know. In Colorado, there's a lot of mountains that are above like 14,000 feet. They're called like 14ers. So I really enjoy Well, a lot of them are hikes. Some of them there's like climbing involved.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking like actually like you're like hammering in the.
No, so yeah, I don't do any like ropes or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just more like
free style.
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah, a little bit. Nothing like crazy. Like there's some like exposure, like you would like if you fall, it would not be good. But
right.
So my mom probably doesn't love like when I do like the dangerous stuff, but I think it's just so like I love being up in the mountains. It's my favorite thing. I think you're saying like fly fishing. Me and my brother love going up the mountains and fly fishing. It's just so relaxing. The summers in Colorado are so nice too. And, we'll go like super high alpine lakes and we'll go jump in, like do some cold plunge stuff, and then have some like lunch up there. And I don't know, it's just I think it's always special to be home. I grew up. My first house we lived in when I was little was in the mountains, so I think I kind of just always played outside, and yeah, it's fun. Like I was saying, me and my brother just like grew up fly fishing there too. So whenever I'm back home, it's always special for me to be able to go out and fish and climb and go hiking with my family and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Would you ever want to try like some more intense climbing with ropes and some of that stuff?
Yeah, I watched like these documentaries on like Netflix and stuff, and there's one about this guy who like climbs like it's called like El Capitan, Yosemite National Park. I saw that, like that's crazy. He like no ropes and he's just like going like up this like vertical cliff. I'm like, wow, I don't think I would do that, but yeah, I don't know. I've always been interested in like I see like videos like people climbing like Everest and those like massive mountains in like Nepal. I think that would be really cool. Like when I'm older, maybe one day to train in Colorado and then go out and climb one of those like K2 or Everest. I think that would be like a bucket list thing for sure.
Yeah, that's like. Some of them, like you said, like guys are on a straight up vertical, no ropes. It's like you kind of have a death wish.
No, 100%.
You're like Daredevil. I mean.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I would ever do that, but the stuff that you kind of have more control over.
Yeah.
Maybe have like a rope would be nice. So.
Yeah.
No, so that's why it's fun. In Colorado, there's not tons of mountains that you need like ropes. Like pretty much every mountain there you can climb.
You just free climb it.
Free climb. Yeah, just mainly just like a hike to get up there, and then like once you get towards the summit, it's more like the climbing starts. So. I think it's just fun. It's a good like mental challenge too. I honestly think it helps you with hockey and playing goalie. Learn like a lot of life lessons too. Like, if you're looking up at the mountain trying to climb, like it's a lot of them are like 15-mile round trips. If you're just staring at the mountain like the whole time, you're like I'm never gonna get up there. But just put your head down and just take one step at a time. It's like I don't know. It's just so relaxing. The weather's so nice there in the summer, and just fun being out there with my brother and friends and stuff like that. I had one of my Bill brothers come out a couple years ago, and he climbed his first mountain with me. It's cool to see people experience that have never been there. So yeah, it's just a ton of fun. So I love it up there.
What's the biggest fish you've got fly fishing?
Biggest fish I've caught fly fishing? Probably a northern pike. Probably around like I don't know, 35 inches maybe.
Yeah, 30. Put up a good fight.
Yeah, a good fight. We usually catch in Colorado though, just trout. Like all those like high country lakes and so on, just trout and stuff like that. So we caught some like bass. Me and Evan Orr here actually went smallmouth fishing, not like fly fishing or anything, but just like literally right on campus, like in the canal. Like yeah. So
you can actually do well. Like, different spots in the canal.
Yeah, we caught like quite a few smallmouth. So I always try to get out as much as I can. Try to get the boys into it. Most of the hockey guys like enjoy fishing too. So up here, I know fishing's really good. So I didn't get to do a ton of it this year because we're only here for a couple of weeks for the summer. But this year with track A and stuff, I'll be up here like lifting and working out in the summer. So hopefully the boys go golfing and go fishing and all that stuff. So it should be fun.
Yeah, there's some really good spots. I mean, like if you don't want to go far, obviously, like you're saying, the canal. A lot of people go under the bridge. Yeah. But the like risk is like I've lost lures. In the rocks under there. I've actually you're cast and they've got the things for the snowmobile trail. I've lost a lure in there. You cast too far and it gets stuck and you're like, shit.
Me and Orzy were fishing. I lost quite a few lures. We both did. It's just tons of rocks, but it's still.
And if you know somebody who's got a boat, that's the best. You can get out the lake and do if you head out towards Chassel, the entry there, and do some, trolling, and it's awesome. Just.
I was talking to Joe beginning of the year. He was saying he goes salmon fishing, lake and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that would be sweet. I've never got to do any, like, I've never really done any fishing like on the Great Lakes. It's all just, like,
it's awesome.
And ponds and stuff around.
My uncle's got a boat rigged for like lake trout fishing. He can put out 4 lines.
Yeah.
Down in Ontonagon.
Yeah.
And like it's awesome down there. You've got the Ontonagon River is great for walleye.
Yeah.
Then you go out in the lake trout, but like early May, when everything's in close, there's so many like little streams and creeks. People just troll, not that far offshore, 10, 15 feet deep water, and you can just make a killing.
Yeah, I don't know. I just love fishing.
Yeah.
I think it's so fun, and just to be out. I just love outdoors too, like hiking, fishing, camping, and climbing, whatever it is. I think I've always just loved it. Like I said, I think it's probably just because I grew up in the mountains and outside all the time, but it's fun to go with the boys and just relax and do something other than hockey sometimes too.
Fishing's one of the most relaxing
just talking to the
activities.
guys, or even if you're by yourself, just like it's like meditation almost, helps you clear your mind.
Yeah, I love like even just by yourself, if you're on like a stream or something, you just hear the water and it's just like
it's the best.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's sweet.
All right, well that's a good place to wrap it up. Thanks for joining me on this episode of the podcast.
Yeah, it was awesome.